and welcome to Respect, the San Francisco International Hip Hop Dance Fest weekly podcast. My name is Micaya, and my wonderful co-host is Brandy Beasley.
What's up, y'all?
You're back.
I'm back.
I'm so glad you're back.
I know, I was just thinking, I wonder how many times you've said that intro since we started this podcast. Just listening to you, I was like, yeah. Mm-hmm.
We have been doing this podcast at DanceFest season, like starting around September till November for the past 4 years. And It started during the pandemic, and we've continued it. We've continued it because we have realized how important and vital, crucial, and informative it is, not only for everyone who's listening, but for us. We have
totally
so much. And for that, I will continue to do this as long as y'all are here with me, Kevin and Brandy, because it's been a great experience.
It has been. I'm here for it. And I mean, every time. So, I mean, last episode, I just was thinking during the episode, I was like, oh, you know what? People are going to, at some point in the future, be looking this up to learn about the history of dance, of BSR, right? BRS, Boogaloo, Roboting, and Strutting. Yes, BRS. Let me get the order right. Yeah, I was just like, what? It just hit me during the time that he was talking. I just was like, this is so important to be recording this. And
if anybody listened to that, it was almost like we had to stop because we had to finish, but we left off at a really kind of iconic topic that I feel like we could have like even a panel about, which the topic being, what is the difference between mimicry, appreciation, and the beginnings, and who are the iconics, and did they really create, or were there people before that? I mean, like since the beginning of the time, people have been dancing,
right,
and their bodies. So how much claiming is there? And we give so much honor and respect to the people with their stories because they're telling their truth. But then when their stories conflict, it's only because there's probably multiple truths.
Absolutely. Right. Because it's not happening in this linear fashion that it's being told. I mean, just like Mr. Penguin was talking about, he went to this show when he was young. And I love how he was like, I did my splits because he's doing his James Brown stuff, and then came back up and saw these people doing their stuff on stage and just was like, what is this? Right. And so in that same moment in time or similar moment of time, how many other legendary dancers were having a similar experience, right? So it's almost like the multiverse.
You can't be everywhere all at once. You cannot be in the room when you've just seen a movement that your granny did.
Right. Right.
Videos, right? Or your grandpa just did, and it's iconic, and it's something that some ancestors that passed down. That gets deep,
Yeah. I'm getting chills. I'm getting the feels already. Girl, I'm like in the living room with my mom learning the Smurf, okay, when you were talking about that. Yeah, right?
Yeah. Nice. We can't have a respect episode with Brandy without her getting a little bit
Never. This is deep. This is genetic for me. I mean, dance, when I look at my littlest one, I'm just like, we're in the store dancing, embarrassing her older sister, but her and I are just getting down. And the oldest one is like, oh my God. Yeah. Can't help it.
No.
Can't help it.
So here we are, 26th season. 26th season.
Yeah.
26 consecutive years of iconic programming in San Francisco, bringing dance companies from all over the world. Now the DanceFest has become a legendary event that is and should be revered. To me, it's absolutely crucial that we do everything, and we are trying to do everything for its longevity, because it really is so important. It is so beautiful. And the people that come know that. It's the people that don't know yet. So if you do come, bring 5 of your people who haven't come.
Yes.
So bring them, because we have spoken a lot about how during the pandemic and other events that might have caused a migration, an exodus out of the Bay Area. A lot of people who love the festival don't even live here anymore. And then we have these influx of people that don't understand it, don't know, they think it might be something, always people have what they think it is until they actually come. We talk about that a lot. It's our 26th year.
Yes, I cannot believe that. I think, again, I remember watching the first one, snuck into that one. And even like, 5th, 6th, I'm like, whoa, 26th?
Yeah.
How did that happen?
Yeah, we're back in my office with now all of the years of the festival in order, starting up there at the top, 1, 2, 3, all the way to last year's right here. Boom.
Wow.
And that empty spot, that's for this year's.
Wow.
Yes, that's what it's about. And, we have 10 outstanding dance companies who are performing this year. 10.
I'm excited.
One for each finger. We've got people coming from Canada, Paris, Detroit, Milwaukee. We have 3 companies from Los Angeles.
Wow.
And 3 from the Bay Area.
Bay Area.
That makes my heart, doesn't it make your heart feel good that, there be people from here representing?
Oh, and like, again, after last week's podcast, like, how can there not be? I just more and more, I'm like, oh my gosh, just the pivotal, like the vitalness that came from the Bay Area in terms of dance and hip hop and all of its variations. So
it's going to be beautiful. We got some local companies. We got Bliss, Youth Dance Company from Vacaville.
Woo!
Tribe, who are just absolutely the top of their game from San Carlos. And Straight Jacket coming hard this year.
Okay.
Yeah, super beautiful. Hey, it's November 9th and 10th at the Palace of Fine Arts. So, tickets, babies, get your tickets. So I want you to introduce this guest because I'm excited to learn about some turfing.
That's right. All right. We have Telice here with us today. She is a professional turf dancer, community organizer, and teacher. She's passionate about bringing people together. I'm getting feels just from that. She has accomplished incredible things in her personal dance journey. However, she prides herself in her commitment to serving the community. She's hosted dance battles, showcases, panels, and other events in collaboration with organizations like the Oakland Museum of California, Red Bull Dance Your Style, and the San Francisco International Hip Hop Dance Fest. Welcome, Telice.
Hello. It's so good to be with you all. Oh my goodness. That was such a beautiful introduction. Thank you.
Thank you. See, we got somebody else with the feels. Look, she's giving us the feels already.
How y'all doing?
Good.
He just got like PhD in good vibrations.
Oh.
But no, last year she was the host of our Soul Train contest, Soul Train freestyle lineup contest, and she just kept everybody in a happy, beautiful mood. It radiates like this positivity, and kept the vibe. It was so much fun. I got so much feedback about that one event, how they want to do it again. And we're doing it again this year. If you get a ticket to the Saturday 7 p.m. show, November 9th, if you get a ticket, you can join on stage in this contest.
Get it, y'all. You want to come on stage and dance, get that ticket, come on out.
Win $500 if you win, So how was that for you last year? Did you have fun?
Yes. Oh my goodness. It was so much fun. Thank you, Micaya, for having me. I get to do soul trains with the students who I teach on a daily, and I teach in an elementary school. So like being able to implement that same structure, cultural structure, right? Like soul train lines are cultural for us, and to be able to implement it on a larger scale for the SF International Hip Hop Dance Fest, it was beautiful. And like you said, I did help keep the vibes high, but it was an exchange. Like it wasn't just me. Like everybody had good vibes, So I just was like helping people um, feel confident and feel comfortable expressing those vibes. And it was just beautiful. It was so beautiful. People came up there and they were like, I also feel like they were really inspired by the dancers, by the dancers in the show, because people came up and they was tearing it up. It was so beautiful. It was so beautiful.
And yeah, it was an exchange, and little kids were there, and older people. It was just so lovely. So look, let's pretend that we never heard of turfing. What is it? What are its origins? What's its history?
I'm glad that you asked that question because I get asked that question a lot. Turfing is a style of dance that is like a cultural pillar of the Bay Area. It was originated in Oakland, in East Oakland, in like the late 90s. And there's a lot of our history is orally narrated. So it's hard to like pinpoint the exact location and time that turfing started, but I will say that it is a cultural movement that has helped carry dance culture in the Bay Area and really like supported the hyphy movement. Like the hyphy movement would not have been a hyphy movement without the turf dancers at all. So that was like a very strong peak for us. And throughout the years, we've been able to like keep the community lit, keep the community going. You may have seen us in some of your favorite music videos, like with YG, with Kendrick Lamar, with her. TURF itself is an acronym for taking up room on the floor. And it's really like a street dance. Like it's not just a dance, it's like an essence and our identity, So a lot of turf dancers that you'll see if you do your research or if you do any kind of research, a lot of them embody turfing differently, but that's what makes it so unique and original is that you embody it like it's an identity, So yeah, super empowering, super beautiful. I learned how to turf really by proximity, like by being around my peers, by, being in the community. Definitely watched a lot of YouTube videos. And yeah, it's been beautiful. It's been beautiful. And you might catch us like on BART, you might catch us on First Fridays. These are just some of like the public spaces that you'll find us maybe like at concerts and stuff like that. But it's such a beautiful and vibrant community. Like we're so special.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now, so does it have any type of origin story? Because I know you were kind of slid past that.
Yes.
Does anyone claim it?
The word turfing was born, it was coined by a dancer named Jarrell Bay. And yeah, from then it just like kind of like boom, they like skyrocketed after that. People had a language to coin this movement that really stoop kids, really the kids that were getting in trouble, really the kids that had, things in their backpack that they weren't supposed to carry. You know what I mean? Like a whole lot of baggage, a whole lot of trauma. Like they were coming to each other to express themselves, and we call it like fuck with it. And excuse my language. I don't know if I'm allowed to cuss on this platform, but that's what we call it. We call it fuck with it. So they will go and link up with each other, link up at YU, and they will be fucking with it. And that's like how they would express themselves. Like that's how they would express their frustration. Like people had to go a little bit harder because they were a little bit more hungry, like the stakes were a little bit higher for turfers, like I said, we're street dancers. So it really that like aggressiveness and that roughness and like the battle culture that's within turfing, it really came from an authentic place. And it really helps fuel the identity of what it means to be a turf dancer. Now, before there was turfing, there was boogaloo, there was roboting, there was strutting, and those also all helped influence turfing to be what it is. Gigging, which is like a category of turfing, I guess, I'm gonna call it a category of turfing, but it's like turfing before turfing was coined. It's called gigging. Like if you had gigs, right? Gigging was definitely influenced by roboting and strutting and boogaloo. You know, people who really had moves like that, like those were their OGs. You know, and over the years, like turfing has been. I can't say revolutionized because it still contains those original elements, but it's just evolved to become more original and unique and like referenceable through language, you know, referenceable through moves, referenceable through like reference, I guess. I hope that answers your question.
That's what we were talking about is evolution. You know, we have to let the kids, you know, let these movements evolve. Yes, we can protect and honor, you know, these things, but we can't stifle them. And it sounds just like, you know, you all were given reverence, or the people, Jerry, all these other people were giving, like, learned about these things, but we're taking it to another level. And with the hyphy movement and the music, is a whole different thing. It's different from what the strutters were dancing to, right?
Yes. Yes. And I think the responsibility was different too. Like the responsibility of turfers became to turn up the functions, to turn up the concerts, to turn up the parties, right? Like whereas like boogaloo, roboting and strutting, they were like performers. You know what I mean? It was like a lot more like structured and formal. Whereas like us, we're coming raw in how we are, and we gonna turn everything up. You know, it's just the responsibility is different.
That is so interesting. I mean, I'm even thinking about just like, you know, Mr. Penguin, how he was referencing like Temptations and, you know, the outfits and that. And then just, he talked about how, I think maybe he talked about San Francisco and how they were kind of using the same records, but then sped them up, which then influenced the dance. I mean, it's just all these different things, right? And so you get a little different flavor here, right? Because it's like, well, I'm not going to use paprika in my recipe. I'm going to use more, you know, chipotle or whatever, right? So it's just, it's all the same kind of like main dish, but it's like, I'm going to use a little less and a little more. And yeah, it's amazing.
That's what makes it yours. That's what makes it yours. That's what makes it unique. That's what makes it beautiful. So the way that we do it in the Turk community is, I'm going to say, because we're street dancers, because we're Turk dancers, because of the informalities, right? Like we might be a little rough around the edges, but like the power and like the impact of what we bring is undeniable. It's completely undeniable. It's beautiful. It's so beautiful. I can't even articulate it in words. It's so beautiful.
It is so beautiful. Now you mentioned like a category. Are there clear categories of turfing?
Yes, we are clarifying them. That's what I will say. There's been a lot of conversations, especially this year, around like clarifying what is turfing, what's not turfing, you know, who's responsible for this, who's responsible for that. Just like really getting the details, you know? But I can tell you some of the categories that I could recognize off the top of my head, right? Gigging and fuck with it are like essentially very similar. So it really has to do with like a looseness, like a loose kind of groove, right? And the groove is also influenced with like a hyphy kind of seasoning on it, right? So it's like, yes, it's groovy, but it kind of has that I don't know, it's like an energy. So that's one of them, gigging. And that gigs also incorporates footwork. So like gliding, all types of like toe spins, kick outs, footwork, right? And then more recently, I'm gonna say like late 2010s, 2015, you know, in that period, touch really became like the hand movement became a really influential part of turfing. Like people started to come out to the turf battles and really like start winning with touch, you know? So that was a thing. Bone breaking has always been a part of turfing. But bone breaking is also its own category. So it's like, that's, you know, just like many other dance styles where they like, there's jazz, and then there's ballet, where there's a whole bunch of like formalities and rules, and like they steal from certain things to make it what it is. Like that's kind of the same with turfing. So bone breaking is a part of turfing, but bone breaking has its own category as well. What else? What else? There's storytelling. Storytelling is a huge part of turfing. It's huge because it helps personalize the moves that you're doing. Like it helps the viewers really connect with the performance that you are, embodying. So that's big. What else? Waves. There's like turf waves. There's like turf body waves. So there's that. And the thing I like about turfing too is that like we're still evolving. We're still emerging, right? Like we're still redefining as generations are developing. So me and my journey, I've been able to like incorporate femininity into turfing. And turfing is a very masculine presenting style of dance, right? It's like very heavily masculine. It's very aggressive. It's very like battle culture. I'm in your face. Like, I'm doing a toe spin on you like that, right? And so when I was really getting my feet wet in this community, I didn't really have a lot of role models to look up to. Like, hey, not only are they turfing, but they look like me, they move like me, they're like really embracing being a woman. So like in my journey, I get to lay foundation and framework for other women to be in this community. I get to do it the way that I do it, and that's a whole part of the evolution.
Nice. We need that. That's important. That's super important. So yeah, I do. I'm glad to hear that there's some clarification, because I think that it's been kind of like gray area or fuzzy. What is that turfing? Because like if you go to a turf battle, turf only, and they're like, well, that's not turfing. I wouldn't even be the one to know what is and what isn't, because it's also like I've seen all of the things you just mentioned, right? Tutting, but I've also seen tutting in different places. Bone breaking, which, like I seen brought the Bones the Machine from New York and done all of that. But when I see them do it here, it's different when the turfers do it. It's different. So it's almost like we make it ours, just like Brandy was saying, we put our own thing on it. Now, do people from other not from Oakland, claim that they're turfers?
Yes.
They do. And how do turf community feel about that?
Well, it doesn't really. There's a dancer who is from Chicago. His name is Shmooby, and he is very much a part of our community now. But he really had to put himself in proximity to be part of the community. And it doesn't mean that like he's any less a part of our community. But like while he was in Chicago, he was a Chicago dancer practicing turfing. Now that he lives here in the Bay Area, and he's like a part of his turf team. He's like in the community. He's showing up for, now he's a turfer. And that is, to me, in my perspective, that's what makes a difference. It's not like moves that you practice that you learned on the internet. It's like, being here, taking up room on the floor for real. Like that's what turfing is.
It's like, Chicago footworkers, right? And King Charles, he goes all over the world and teaches people footworking. And really, he's got footworkers in all parts of the country. And they call themselves footworkers now, like say if you were, intricate or dopey or whatever, went somewhere and taught a series of, really intense workshops and got people, and they're like, I'm a turfer now. That wouldn't be the same, right?
No, it's not the same. But we do love to see other people from other areas incorporating turf styles in their dance. Like, for example, I have a friend, her name is Bria. Shout out to her. I love her. She lives in Atlanta, and she's like a popper. Like, she's super heavy on the popping, the like freezes. She's super technical. She's really the truth, not gonna lie. But while she was out here visiting the Bay Area, me and her got to dance a lot. So she picked up some of the moves, and now she's out there in Atlanta and she's doing her turf style, and like it's recognizable. Like when she posts her dance videos, people are commenting under the videos like, hey, I see you with your, you know what I mean? So that is something that we always celebrate. But Bria doesn't go around. She's not like, oh, I'm a turfer now. Oh, I'm like, you know what I mean? And I think that's what makes the difference between learning a style and like, I don't want to say owning. It's more so like colonizing a style. It's like more so like taking a style, right? Like it's the difference between learning some house steps and incorporating it into who I am versus transforming myself to be this. Like we don't really like that. Like don't change who you are to come be us when you're not us, because you could just be you, you know?
Yeah. It's like putting a mask on or appropriation, you know, when someone shows up at a Halloween party and they got a costume on that you're like,
right.
I don't know that you should be wearing that. You know, what do you know about that? You know, and I'm just thinking about like, you know, the battle part of it and just like having to like be in it, right? And live it and breathe it versus I can learn some moves. I can learn some, you know, turf moves. I can learn some breaking moves, but like I am neither of those because I'm just not. I'm not in the culture, living it, breathing it, showing up, gigging. Yeah.
I think another big part too about being a turfer is like passing it forward. Like if you're not organizing in some capacity, I'm not saying that you gotta create a whole school or, you know, throw battles all the time. But like if you're not sharing your craft in some way to pay it forward, then you can't really be a turfer, because this is not just about us. Like it's not just, we want the culture to live. We want the culture to grow, right? So if you're somebody who just comes to learn the moves to incorporate it into your style, then you're not really promoting the growth. You know, you're not like organizing around our community's movement. Like you're just kind of using our community, and that's we see that.
That's what makes you so special, Telice. But I do feel anytime I've been in the presence of the turf community that it is a welcoming community. It's not like we're over here. They're very welcoming to everyone, all ages, willing to share and everything. So no one's trying to paint the picture of like this exclusivity, because it's really not. It's really about community. And you're at the forefront of all of the community, for really, like you teaching kids and hosting things and doing battles and goodness, you know, I can't even keep up with you. You're doing a lot. Yeah.
Thank you, Micaya, for real.
Yeah. Super impressive. So what do you tell your young students?
My young students who I teach on a daily, I use dance in general, right? Because not everybody in my school is a dancer at all, let alone a turfer. But like, I don't even know if you feel comfortable in your body, right? So I use dance and dance activities and things like soul train lines and things like dance circles and like partner games where you and your partners get to make up routines and like dance battles. We battle in class a lot. But I use frameworks like this to help students build their confidence, to help students like just feel more comfortable embracing themselves, embracing their movements, learn more about their bodies, and to build like pro-social environments around creativity. Like that's really, really important, because if they learn how to have healthy pro-social type of competitions when they're young, when they're babies, then when they're older, they're not going to be diminishing other people when they're battling. You know, they're going to be able to like see the bigger picture beyond the win or the loss, you know? So that's something that's really important to me. I also show them my dance battles. I show them other people's dance battles who I look up to in the community. I show them like the partner work that they do. Like, for example, there's a dancer named Left Side and a dancer named Grim. And Grim actually has like turned to do more of our filming in our community, but he used to be a really big dancer in our community. And they used to do 2-on-2 battles. So they would make up these routines and they would go battle other people. And sometimes I show my students their battles so that I could show them like how people work together to create something impactful. Like, yeah, they're doing quote, quote, simple moves. And maybe the other opponents may be doing more technical, complex moves, but they're winning because they're working together, you know? So I use just kind of the concepts that I feel like are really important in turfing and in community to help build my students, you know, to help them develop their own identities.
Love it.
Yeah.
Puts all of the stuff together, you know, so that they have this that they can use in life.
Yes.
And if they just happen to be in a dance situation, they might feel a little more comfortable too.
Look.
Right? They're like, oh, I'm ready for this. I've had this experience before. I mean, hip hop, all genres, there's always a connection to the community. Always, right? Just that's where it comes from. It just, when you talk about the kids and community and like helping them feel more comfortable in their body or figure out how to have these interactions, and I'm just, the feels come. They come. Mm-hmm.
It's real. Yeah.
Sorry.
It's so real. And it really is more than just dance. It permeates, how they carry themselves. But honestly, as a teacher of mostly adults, it kind of happens with them too. They need some of those same lessons.
And that's okay. I needed some of those lessons when I was, emerging. And I was like, I started turfing when I was 14. And I needed those lessons, So like to be able to pay it forward and like be able to help create that impact for kids at a younger age, it means it's bigger than being the best dancer or bigger than winning. You know what I mean? Like the impact will last generations. And that's priceless.
Beautiful. I think that kind of like wrapped up this episode in the most perfect way. The word priceless, Can't put a price on some things that are just iconic like this, so powerful. So I think it was a great step from going from Reverend Mr. Penguin, Mr. William Randolph to, because he's giving us all this Oakland older history to turfing, for Oakland history. This was a good, we didn't do this on purpose. It just kind of happened with serendipity. The planets did this.
That's right. The universe did this. Yes.
Did this. But so everyone check out the San Francisco International Hip Hop Dance Fest, November 9th and 10th. Go to sfhiphopdancefest.com. You will see 10 dance companies from all over the world. If you come on Saturday, you can participate in the Soul Train Freestyle contest. If you come on Sunday at noon, you can participate if you are a child. On stage, we have a freestyle circle. Kids just go crazy for 15 minutes until they want to drop after the show. And then if you come on the 5 o'clock Sunday, we have a party with bites and little bitty beverages and things like that. And last year we had some turf performances, and that's sponsored by the beautiful and wonderful Miss Brandy Beasley.
Well, let's see if I can get my heart. Will it come?
Yes, make the heart. Oh, see, look, she made the hearts. Can you do yours?
I know.
You have to just be still, be real still, and put it off to the side so that it like looks like the heart. Hold it there.
See, mine didn't do it.
No?
It's okay. The love is there. It's fine. It's fine.
The love is there, right? Yes.
Don't need the emojis or whatever. Please, thank you so much for your time, for the education. So much appreciated.
Yes, thank you.
Brandy, I love you. And everyone, thanks again. And until we see you again, much love and much
respect.
Bye-bye.